Oh my gosh, he accused me of stealing his biscuits, and I actually did steal his biscuits on our honeymoon.
Now this question is for Sonya. It's from G in Tennessee, who wants to know how awesome is it to get to live with a thoroughbred stud like that George?
Hello everyone, this is Sonya and George, and we're going to do our very first Q&A because we hit 5,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. You all sent in a lot of questions for us to answer, and we're going to answer questions about how we met, are we moving, and more. There's just all kinds of things that we're going to talk about here. And I've got everything on little index cards, so we're going to take turns with the cards. We have Maddie Sue here with us. Hold her up a little bit. Yeah, we're going to be trying to keep her from barking. She is a Chihuahua. It's warming up, and we have a lot of neighbors outside. We're going to try to keep her from barking, but we're probably going to have to cut us off here and there, but it's real life, you know. I'm going to go ahead and take the first one. What age did George retire? Do you want to answer that one?
I thought you said you were taking it.
No, I asked the question. You can answer it.
I was 64. I planned to work a couple more years, but the place where I worked, which was a mine in Gordonsville, Tennessee, a zinc mine, decided to halt production for a couple of years while they built some machinery. I just decided I'd go ahead and retire. I didn't really want to start over again at 64. Could afford to retire, so we did, and it agrees with me.
So he actually spent a lot of time in his career at Gibson Guitar. And how long were you there?
Almost 30 years.
30 years.
Just a couple months shy.
So
and they went bankrupt and depleted their workforce, and so I was part of that. And then I hooked up with the Near Star Tennessee mines in Gordonsville and Carthage, and that was interesting.
We were very blessed. You can read off the next question.
It's not a question, it's a statement. But I guess they're asking about health, dental, and vision insurance as retirees.
Yeah, so for me, the most recent retiree at 62, and I was able to take Cobra. We didn't find anything in the market that was cheap enough. Cobra was the cheapest thing that we could find right away. So
for the coverage level?
For 18 months, yes, for the coverage level that I wanted. And then after the 18 months, we'll be having to shop around for something else until I turn 65. And there is another twist. My company was actually bought out by another company, and their insurance takes effect in May, and my company officially, their insurance will dissolve at that time. So I was an employee with a new company for 1 week, and I don't know for sure if I'll be able to continue that insurance after May, because I was never on the new company's insurance. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out. I'm not sure how the laws work on that, but
it'll all work out.
Well, you know, God's going to provide, and that's what we're counting on.
And I retired at 64, so I went on Sonia's work insurance for a few months until I turned 65 in the summer, and went on Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, which is excellent insurance. It's been wonderful so far, very affordable. It agrees with me too.
He's a part of that silver sneaker group. He gets almost a free gym membership.
Silver and fit, and I get a free hat too.
All right. Do you find the days go faster than while working? And for me, yes, I do, because I'm having so much fun doing things that I really want to be doing every day. And it's almost disappointing, you know, when it gets to be like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and it's like, wait, but I'm not ready for the day to be over yet. I'm having a lot of fun, and getting things done on the list that I haven't been able to get done in years, and it feels good, and it feels like this is my era. This is what I'm meant for. So what about you? Do you think the days go by faster?
All days are 24 hours long, and they seem to go by at the same speed, which is quicker the older you get. It is nice to have time to do whatever you want to during the day instead of doing what you have to. And I've talked with many other retirees who wonder how they ever had time to work.
Yeah, I've kind of been having that feeling too.
Now this question is for Sonya. It's from G in Tennessee, who wants to know, how awesome is it to get to live with a thoroughbred stud like that George? Real quick.
G from Tennessee.
It's J-E-E.
G from Tennessee. As in, G is in George.
G wants to know how awesome it is to live with a thoroughbred stud like that George.
Yeah, well, it's just pretty awesome, as you can see in the
would
videos every week.
I would imagine so. You're so lucky.
Oh my gosh. Okay, has George always loved cooking or just since retirement? So I'll let him answer that one.
Well, I've cooked for a long time. When I was a little boy, my mom worked, so our time together was watching her cook in the kitchen, me and my sister, and we helped her cook. So, made eggs and soup and stuff like that. Then when I was in high school, my sister had gone off to college, and my parents had just opened a new real estate business, and they worked all the time. And one day I complained to my mother. I said, "Mom, I'm getting tired of eating TV dinners every night while y'all are out working. So, can you up your game on that?" The next morning, she gave me $50 and a cookbook and said, "Pick out a recipe, go to the store, and have dinner ready for us when we get home." So I kind of did that. And it's fun to do. It's creative, and you get to eat. And if you cook, you kind of get to eat what you want to eat. And a lot of people have told me I should open a restaurant, and I go, that would take all the fun out of cooking. So it's fun. Yes, I've been cooking a long time.
All right, so what kind of pizza do you like? And I'm actually gonna let him go first because I like pizza, but he is the pizza guru here.
I love pizza, and I've only had one pizza that I didn't ever care for, and it was because the crust was thick and tasted like cardboard. Anyway, Sonya is a fan of pepperoni, and I like those, and I like to try other kinds of pizza too. Artichokes and veggie pizzas are pretty good, and I'm going to make her a sardine pizza before long so I can have it all to myself. She didn't like mushrooms until the last couple of months, so now I get to put mushrooms on pizza again. Anyway, so pizza, I like it all. Thin crust, thick crust, cold out of the refrigerator, 2 days old.
And I prefer thin crust because it does bother me quite a bit having a diverticulitis situation every now and then. As long as I have the gut under control, the gut biome, I usually can skirt through a pizza, but you can see Maddie's tail over here. She is a mess. All right, so favorite TV shows besides Sister Wives. Everybody knows, if you've watched this channel for very long, that I really love Sister Wives, and I don't have a lot of time in my schedule, or at least I didn't, when I worked. And so Sister Wives was just my thing. But as far as other shows, I don't really have a lot of other shows that I get into on Netflix. I have a lot of them I want to get into. I take that back. I do like Virgin River. What's that other one that I watch?
Sweet Magnolias.
Sweet Magnolias is about to come back on.
Lots of YouTube shows.
I love the YouTube, and honestly, YouTube is kind of what I prefer because just over the last few years, I've watched at lunch, just when we're going somewhere, it's just so easy to kick up and watch. So I'll just go ahead and mention Jordan Bouth. She's the figure skater. professional that goes on the cruise ships. I like figure skating and cruise ships, and those two things go along well with me.
She's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and she's just fun to follow.
She has great theme music.
Yeah,
Her theme music really
her
stands
theme
out.
music is really good, especially her intro. And I like her parents are really nice to be involved in her videos, and they seem like really nice people. They're from Buffalo. And then there's, I watch a lot of New Yorkers actually. Chelsea Callahan, I hope that I'm saying that right. She does a really cute video every week, just down to earth, has cats, lives alone, just kind of talks about whatever she wants to talk about and brings us along always with the cats. And she's very much an introvert, and I can connect with that. And then we have
She only has time for one show.
Alexa Eldridge. I've got to mention these top three. I mean, I've watched a lot of RV, I started out watching RVers and people that sail because I was always intrigued with that lifestyle. I still keep up with a lot of them, but somehow was introduced to a lot of the New Yorkers. I've never been to New York. I'm fascinated with the small apartments and what they can do with that. And I love, Alexa Eldridge, who does a really cute job with hers too. So that's basically what I watch. Do you want to,
So she just watches that one show, so you see that I seldom have time to watch shows because she's watching all that other stuff that I got time to watch. Anyway, so I like to watch football. This year it's kind of been college football more than pro football, but the playoffs are on. Super Bowl's this weekend, so yes, I try to watch just maybe one game a week. And my favorite TV shows are pretty much the Star Trek shows, although some of the newer shows are kind of getting a little over the top. But anyway, it's Star Trek, so I like that. And go to yard sales a lot, and I've got a couple hundred movies I bought at yard sales for nothing, and all kinds of stuff. James Bond, and action, adventure, and cry movies.
we kind of like to find a series that we both can get into, like The Sopranos. We watched that whole thing together, and Breaking Bad. It's sometimes Ozark. Yes, that was good. If we can find something like that we both really get into, that just compels us to watch, we have a good time watching that. I think we're kind of in between. I don't know. We just don't have anything good except for Lone Star Law, Airport.
Smuggler shows, How to Catch a Smuggler is kind of interesting.
Yeah, we end up watching that together when we're kind of in between shows. All right, moving on.
What are our hobbies? Sonya?
Well, you guys are probably my number one hobby because I'm retired. I don't have to work, and this channel, I just enjoy videoing, vlogging. I enjoy the editing process. I enjoy communicating with you guys and just creating the community. So yeah, YouTube would be one. I enjoy working puzzles, watching TV. Reading. I love to read. There's probably a lot of other things that I would do if I had time, but those things pretty much take up most of my free time. You're next. Did I miss anything?
I don't think you got it pretty well. I read an awful lot and love doing that. And of course, cook almost every day, so I kind of call that a hobby. Outdoor stuff, I work in the yard a pretty good bit. I love to play disc golf, frisbee golf, which I only play when the weather's nice and of course it's not wet. I think my real passion is playing the guitar, and I bought a recorder a couple of years ago, so I spend almost as much time editing recordings as Sonya does editing videos. And it's the same thing. Most people would find it really boring. I might spend 3 or 4 hours getting 10 seconds worth of good sound, but it's fascinating to me to be able to do so. And it's great fun. Good way to spend time.
It's kind of funny. It's like, I'm going to go edit, and George will be like, yeah, me too.
I'm going to go play guitar.
How is Little Bit? So we do have a lot of cat people on here, and of course we show the dogs, and in an intro that I've had before, I've included Little Bit in there. He is an outside cat. He's not indoor. We do still claim him as our cat. He was originally just a stray that we just kind of took in and supported. So he does come in when it's cold. We take very good care of him to make sure that he has food and water every day. He wants to be outside most of the time, and when the weather is just really bad, stormy, or really cold, then he can come in the basement. We have a little litter box set up downstairs.
A litter bit.
Yeah, say that 5 times.
He's really old. He's like 16 now.
Yes.
I found him out at the lake one day when I stopped to look at a pretty sunset, and I heard a cat meowing, so I tried to coax the little cat out. And he ran right up to me, and I petted him for a little while, and he rolled around. Then I said, well, I can't take you home because we've already got, what do we have, 4 cats already? I said, but, if you'll follow me to the car, I'll think about it. And he got up and led me to the car. And then I put him in the car with me, and I thought, well, I'll roll down the window and start the engine, and that will scare him and he'll jump out. So I did all that, started the engine up, and he rolled over on his back. It's like, oh gosh, Sonya's gonna kill me.
So I don't know, for whatever reason, I was in the basement when the garage door opened and he came in with this cat on his shoulder, and I'm like, oh my word, what has he done? And then he got stuck in a tree, remember that? And
I also remember you said, well, he's not housebroken, we're not having another cat, and he immediately went to the litter box and did something in there.
Yeah. The
litter bit box.
The other cats that we had were kind of inside-outside cats. We had one cat named Smokey at that time that really took Little Bit in and showed him, just told him the rules, but Little Bit got stuck up in a tree, and Smokey, this cat that took care of him, stayed by that tree until that cat got down. And he was down by the next morning.
As I told you, when they get hungry enough, they'll come down.
They'll come down. It all worked out. We didn't have to call the fire department. Bible study routines. So what are your Bible study routines? Right now, I am doing a retiree Bible study book that my friend Lisa J gave me. And that one is going to be up around Valentine's Day. I've decided that I'm going to use up all my Devo books, and then once I get through that, I've got some specific studies that I want to do where I dive deep into scripture and kind of write my own manuscripts of certain subjects. And I don't know how far into the year that will be, but I'm looking forward to that, and maybe I can share some of that on videos. I really don't know. It's always been a goal of mine to write a book, and I don't know whether it would be personal, spiritual, about work stuff,
Could be about living with me.
Management type of stuff. I don't know. I just, I could go into any of those avenues because I really love writing in the process of doing that. But that's pretty much my Bible study routine. I do it every morning before the day gets going, because once you get into your day, it's hard to sit down and do that. Also, as a part of my World Bible School, sometimes people ask you questions, and it's probably a couple of times a week where I'm diving into scripture just so I can make sure I'm giving them an appropriate answer for their question. So that's pretty much mine.
I just usually read 2-3 chapters, 3 or 4 pages of the Bible every morning with my first cup of coffee. I'm almost through reading it through again. When I get through, then I'm going to read that book about heaven that a friend gave us, and then I'm going to get 2 or 3 different versions of the Bible and do a comparative thing on the New Testament is kind of what I want to do. So,
And then, then also on Sunday we have church, and we, of course, have the sermon and then Sunday school class after, which we kind of talk about some scriptures, but taking those scriptures and applying it into our lives and kind of how we look at those scriptures and interpret it and how it manifests in our own lives. So there's just a lot of conversation in that. I think we both benefit from that group that we meet with every Sunday. And then we have life group. Life group is
small group.
Just kind of a small group. We just really meet, eat, and support one another. Just socialize pretty much. But
Next one again, technically not a question. Travel plans.
Did I misspell it?
No, travel plans.
Yeah, somebody wants to know our travel plans now that I'm retired, I guess. So we always go to Texas, usually a couple of times a year, because that's where our daughter is, and she's married to Cody. Our daughter is Katie, and her husband is Cody. They have 2 kids, and they live on a ranch where Cody works, and Katie's a teacher in Texas. So we try to see them as often as we can. They come here at least one time a year, and sometimes we will meet somewhere on vacation together with them. We really want to go and take a couple of trips. I think we're thinking about Maine.
That's my plan.
Possibly an Alaskan cruise. I've been trying to talk him into that. I got to get my passport. I don't know.
There's a Great Lakes cruise and a river cruise.
So
we could take some kind of cruise.
The big question is, why are you not wanting to take an ocean cruise?
Because everybody says I love it, but it just seems so boring to be out on the ocean to me. Even on the big amusement ship, I would much rather fly to an island and spend my week getting to know a particular place well, rather than going on a big cruise. I was on an island once and talked to people off the cruise ships, and several people told me, yeah, you go to all these islands and you visit them, and you got an hour and you go to these stores right beside the dock, and then you got to be back on, so you never really get to get a flavor of the island. So that's really why.
I do think that when you're on a cruise ship, you've got pretty much a selected amount of time and place that the cruise ships stop. I also know it's crowded when you get off and get on at a place, and even places on the cruise ship can be crowded. But it's kind of on my bucket list. Like, I really want to experience a short cruise and a longer cruise at some point, and I really would like to do the Alaskan one.
I'll do the Alaskan one.
All right, you heard it here.
Someday.
Yeah, we just got to pick the time.
Really, the river cruise appeals to me because, we used to go on the, the General Jackson, just a few miles up and down the Cumberland River. And that way, when you're on a boat, you've always got, can look and see things on the land.
Mm-hmm.
That has so much more appeal to me than being out on the ocean. Although the big water slide might be fun, but the big buffet and all that, there's buffets everywhere.
Okay.
All right, and maybe the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I would really like to RV around. But I don't think he really wants to do that because the space is really small, and I kind of don't want to do it because I don't like storms. I don't like being cold or hot, but I kind of would really like to do it once just for the experience, but we'll see what happens.
This question is for Sonya from George. Hey, what are you making for dinner tonight?
Well, I'm going to be making spaghetti tonight, and there should be a video on that because I'm in the middle of another vlog outside of this video. that I'll be showing. Someone was interested in how I fix spaghetti.
She makes good spaghetti. That's her best thing she makes.
I think I can make it to where it tastes like it's cooked a long time, but it only takes about an hour. And tonight I'm gonna do one a little differently because I have a packet mix that I'm using. So it'll be a little bit different from my normal spaghetti, but all right. So top places we've been to together.
Is that like the most furthest north, or?
No, just places that we really liked that we've traveled to together. So we can take turns. I'm just gonna throw out Destin for me because George's parents went to Destin. My family always went to Panama City or Daytona Beach in Florida. But his parents went to Destin and said, oh, it's the cutest little fishing village, and you've just got to go check this out. And so we did on our honeymoon go there. They were so sweet. They gave us money. Remember, they gave us that little cooler, and it had $100 bills in it. So they gave us.
I didn't see that. You must have taken it.
They gave us some money to spend because we just didn't have a lot of money.
Broke.
We didn't have a lot of money, and we spent what we didn't have on a hotel room, and they were just really nice to support
Eggs
us.
Benedict. Ooh, gotta go.
Oh my gosh, he accused me of stealing his biscuits, and I actually did steal his biscuits on our honeymoon because they brought me Eggs Benedict and he got gravy and biscuits. Is that what it was? And you know how usually when you go to a restaurant, they put the biscuits in the middle, and I think we were seated at like this bar area. It was at the donut hole, and they didn't have many tables, and we agreed to eat breakfast there. So they put the biscuits in between us. I ate my Eggs Benedict, and I reached over for my biscuit, or what I thought was my biscuit.
If you've never had a bowl of gravy for breakfast, you won't understand.
Oh my gosh. So he was like, don't be stealing my biscuit. And I'm like, was it not a community biscuit? He's like, no, that was part of my biscuits and gravy.
Which I got because we really didn't have much money, and she wanted the Eggs Benedict, which was probably the most expensive thing on the menu. I think it was towards the end of our stay, and I was being miserly, as I'm prone to do. And anyway, so I was like, let her get the Eggs Benedict. I'll eat biscuits and gravy. That's filling and cheap. And then she took my biscuit.
Yeah, well, I mean,
so I had gravy.
He was always like, get it if you want it. So I really thought that I could get it. And you could never get Eggs Benedict anywhere else on the menu.
Right, I have no problem with you getting the Eggs Benedict.
So I was like, well, we can order more biscuits. And he's like, no.
We don't have to.
No, we're not going to get any. And I felt so bad.
Well, let's let it go. Let's let it go before she gets mad again. Other places we've been, I really like to go into the Big South Fork, which is an undeveloped national recreation area up close to the Smoky Mountains, Gatlinburg area, but it's got nothing. It had one restaurant within about 50 miles, and you had to drive, 40 miles to go to the grocery store, but it was pristine and beautiful and good hiking and cheap cabins, and we'd go up there with friends sometimes. We're in a really big cabin, and it was just really nice. And of course, we've already been to Maine once. That was
amazing. Trip. We had a really good time.
And that's about it. We tend to go to the same place 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it's. I think through the years it was always easy, and we loved. We had places we loved so much in Destin. We would go back every year. We could do a whole video just on Destin, but it's probably all changed now anyway.
Yeah, it's not as much of a small town.
Everybody heard about it. We told everybody, so they all went. What would a dream vacation be?
Well, do tell.
A dream vacation. Well, for me, it would be like going on a cruise because it would just seem so hard to come by. There's a lot of places in the U.S. that I would love to see. I mean, like the big redwoods. luckily through work, I was able to see places like Oregon and Phoenix, California, LA, in that area, and that really kind of got a lot of travel stuff out of my system through HR in my HR days when I did that. I didn't have a lot of time to do excursions, but just being able to see those towns and go out to eat and see the culture and stuff, that was really exciting to me. But I would like to, just even in the US, just travel around and see different places. I would love to take a cruise. And for me, that would be a dream vacation. What about you?
Well, I kind of got two. I'd like to go see Yellowstone National Park sometime.
Me too.
I've been within an hour of Yellowstone twice in my life, but I was on working trips and just didn't really have enough time to go and really visit the park other than drive there and go, oh yeah, there it is. So I've always kind of regretted that I didn't go there. And I think my biggest dream vacation right now would be to get the kids and the grandkids and all go to Maine together and spend about a week up there because, it's so beautiful in the summer. We could go on a cruise to the islands around Maine for a couple hours and maybe that'd get that out of your system and eat lobsters all day. And Maine is just really pretty. Portland, the capital of Maine, is where we were, and there was a lot going on there, but it's still a pretty small town, 60,000 or so. And I'm sure the kids would love it. Memories of a lifetime. So that's kind of what I'm hoping we can do in 2 or 3 years after we get all this other retirement stuff. No, you're not supposed to cut in on
I
that.
thought you were through.
Yeah, I'm never through. Anyway, all right, yeah, I'm pretty much done. And outer space. I'd love to go in outer space. SpaceX, but that ain't happening. Are we moving to Texas or are we going to move? Let's move. Wild and crazy cat. Are we moving to Texas, Sonya?
All right. Well, I'll take it if you want me to. First of all, we
Okay.
have a family member here that we are helping to take, we're helping her with groceries, doctor's appointments, and paying her bills and things like that. So if we decide to move to Texas, then we have to figure out, will she need to go to assisted living there or here or be alone here? We're trying to be considerate of that situation. There's other parts of that, because if we move to Texas, what if Cody ends up not working for, in the ranch, in the wildlife part of Texas anymore? I mean, if he is in a different state, then do we just follow them around? We're getting older. We want to be settled. So, there's a little bit of nervousness there. And there's also just an extra issue with their location in Texas. They're in the middle of nowhere, and it's about an hour or two from the type of civilization that we are used to and probably need at this point in our lives with healthcare and things like that. If you move down there but you're still an hour or two away, does that really help anybody out? So it just seems like for now the cards are just so that all right.
There you go. I ain't gonna get it. Go ahead.
Oh, you're from Canada, huh? Not Mexico?
She's a NAFTA dog.
Well, as I was trying to say, there's just a lot of cards stacked up against us that just doesn't exactly align for our needs right now. So that decision is just kind of on hold. I think it's just best for us to stay put right here, right now.
The other question is, are we going to move? It's probably the same question.
Are we going to move? Well, we really like this house. We like our neighbors. We've put a lot of work in this house. It still needs a lot of work. Is it possible that, a couple of years from now we decide this is too much, because it is 2 acres. It's a lot of yard work for him. It is a lot of house. We've been trying to pare down, and cut down on what we own, as you've been watching some of the videos. There may be a time when we decide, let's just move into something smaller. I'm always the one that likes to know the plan. I want to know what the plan is, and I've just started relaxing with that and just taking it day by day, and it's like we will know what our needs are and we will do our best to fulfill them at that time. So I don't know, what are your thoughts?
When we bought this house 15 years ago, I thought, all right, that's where I'm going to live the rest of my life. And that has a certain amount of appeal. I love Middle Tennessee, and I love living close to the Nashville area because there's so much to do, and it's really pretty, and it's a nice place. And I've always loved Tennessee. Texas is about the only other place that I'd be willing to move, because I like Texas a lot too. My college roommate was from Texas. Dallas is a happening town. Fort Worth's a cool place. If we did move to Texas, I would, like you said, probably want to live 45 minutes away from the kids to be closer to the civilization that we're more accustomed to. And then, it's like the appeal of moving to Texas is mostly to be with the grandkids, who in, short number of years will, be too busy to hang out with Granny and Papa anyway. So, there's that reason to not move. So I don't know. We'll play it by ear. Like I said, we could get a condo down there and kind of live both places if we wanted to. And are we going to move? If we don't move to Texas, probably not going to move until it's time to really downsize. Never know. Never know what might happen. Circumstances change.
Okay, so the next one is, how did we meet? So
it's kind of like this. Hi, I'm George.
All right, so we actually met at Dillard's. I was personnel manager. Originally, it was Kane Sloan. And Dillard's, I was at the downtown store. He was at the Green Hill store. And we really didn't meet until after Dillard's bought Kane Sloan. And I had moved to Green Hills as the personnel manager there. Kane Sloan had personnel managers. Dillard's really didn't, but they allowed me to keep that title until I left. I think they had a secretary trainer, but anyway, he was an area sales manager of furniture and electronics. We met at the copier. I think he was copying schedules before he turned them in to me or whatever, and
Again. Going back to that again.
Yeah, I used to get so mad at him because he wouldn't turn his schedules in on time. I'd be having to call him. So, we just kind of...
She wanted to call me.
We met at the copy machine. I don't even think he really remembers our first meeting.
I remember it quite well.
Oh, okay.
Green dress. Wearing a green
we
dress.
were always friends and had coffee together, and then we
hung out with our circle of friends.
Yeah, we just hung out. We were just a bunch of friends, and we had a restaurant upstairs. So sometimes on break we would have coffee together and just catch up. And then it kind of went into yogurt, and then it went into matinees.
When did it go to yogurt?
Remember we used to... I don't know. We used to, on break, we would go to TCBY.
Oh, frozen yogurt.
Yeah, frozen. I guess you should say frozen yogurt.
Yogurt.
It was frozen yogurt.
Nothing says romance like yogurt.
Ice cream.
And Taco Bell. We go to Taco Bell.
Okay.
And Ruby Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's basically how we met. I guess that was the last question. I hope that you guys have enjoyed our first Q&A, and I hope there will be many more. And she was pretty good. She only interrupted us, once or twice, but she's the princess. So I just want to thank you guys for being here. You know, there's a lot of new subscribers. So I had said when we hit 5,000, that'll be a good time to just kind of do a Q&A and answer questions that you might have. You know, we'll probably do one of these maybe twice a year, something like that, because people come and go on the channel, and I think it's good to do that sometimes. Anyway, we've got a lot of video coverage. We've got a lot of videos coming out soon. We'll be taking another Texas trip soon. We continue to do the decluttering the house. I continue to do the little daily vlogs or weekly vlogs here and there. So I'm trying to give you a good mix of different things on the channel because I feel like we've kind of got a couple of different crowds. We'll be also painting some places in the house, and we'll give you some snippets of that. But there's going to be one video that I'm planning on, and that is our den area is going to take on a pretty massive transformation just by paint only for the most part. It's going to brighten that up a lot, and then we'll be able to video more in there too.
Where are you barking at?
But yeah, we've got a lot of things coming, and if that sounds like something you want to be involved in, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. Give us a like. Let us know what you thought about our answers here and what we covered today, and we'll do another one of these again
And we'd
soon.
like to know your thoughts on bunny ears.
Yeehaw. All right. So, everyone, thanks so much for joining us, and
Wait.
we'll see you in a video down the road.
Wait.
Why? What?
I wanted to see how long I could make you wait.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
Wait.
Woo. Okay, so kind of before we get started, just look. If you look at that green dot, it looks like you're looking at the camera, and instead of looking at yourself. But that's where everybody is right there. And then if you can kind of let us finish a sentence before, you know, we have to let each other finish a sentence before we cut each other off.
We've never, ever been able to do that.
Because when you're in the editing, if we're talking over
Like
each
this?
other,
Like that?
it's really hard to edit. So we have to let each other finish sentences so that, you know. So, all right. I just wanted you to know before we get started. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Start.
That's my hand. Is this too much? I mean, it goes with my shirt.
I was thinking when we went to Maine that I would really like to sail.
Have a goat head?
No. Sail.
Sure.
That I would really like to go sailing.
What
like,
did you want to sail?
just real sailing, because I've watched all the sailing shows and I will never be able to go sailing, you know, like anywhere around the world. So I would really like to just go sailing once. You know, in places like Chicago and
Chicago. We'd like to go to Chicago.
Chicago would be a fun little trip. That'd be pretty easy for us actually. But they have, you know, sailboats there and also in Maine where you can do that.
We were going to go to Chicago, and we had plans to go and meet up with our friends. I was going to get to go see the Cubs at Wrigley Field. Went to eat, and then COVID hit and kind of killed it all. So. Oh, there's a cat on your shoulder.
Yeah, that's a little bit.
Yeah, fake a little bit.
It just seems like for now the cards, well, it just makes a lot of noise on the film. So let me finish what I'm saying and then you can do. So
Maddie. What are you doing?
people walking, so I'll just cut that part out. Let me know. They're gone.
Big voice for a little dog. Matt, look at the green light.
Get it up and see.
shuffle the cards, Dad.